community approach where we learn from each other. So we're just going to hand out a couple of awards at the moment. And I firstly want to start off to ask Luana from Hetty to come up to the front. Here we go. Hetty is the New South Wales Health Education and Training Institute. Hetty is responsible for the training across all New South Wales hospitals, including nursing. Hetty first joined when we collaborated on a senior leaders program, which was called Leaders and Clinicians Senior Leadership, because in hospitals, the executives don't talk to the doctors and the doctors don't talk to executives. How about that? This program is now morphed into the Connected Leadership Program, which we're going to be announcing in April, where we believe that leadership is about the connection of people, and so it's called the Connected Leadership Program. So what I'd like to do is for Luana, and this is their 5 years membership award. With life being so busy, we have another 5-year award for FIAL, but there's a major conference in the food industry going on at the moment. All the FIAL people have ducked across, haven't they, to the food conference? There's no FIAL people here? They're all coming back for dinner. We're going to do that at dinner. Woofed. Okay, I'm pleased to recognise 3 members for their extraordinary contribution to Hargraves, our members, and most importantly, our knowledge. As I said, Hargraves doesn't pretend to know everything. We do know everybody that's important. Hargraves is all about give and take. For all members, the experience and knowledge of our other 100 members is valuable through stories and connections. This requires members to share without direct payback, in the belief that karma happens. Do something good for someone and the world is a better place. So what I'd like to do is, in recognition of your significant contribution to our members, is Jacqueline Linke from Transport for New South Wales. Where's Jack? Culture eats strategy for breakfast is a famous business meme. Jack is a living example of how people-first approach can create change even in the largest of organisations. So Jack started off as the innovation manager at Sydney Trains and created the first innovation cultural program across Sydney Trains. And because she was so successful, they booted her upstairs. And now she's at Transport for New South Wales trying to change them. So it goes from 16,000 people to 35,000 people.
It's a lot of people.
A lot of people. However, she has 2 shoulders, so she can handle it. Jack was the innovation manager at Sydney Trains, where it took the challenge to change from an old staid culture to a modern innovative culture. With the help of Tess, who you've all met from Catalyst, Jack implemented the innovator recognition to support local innovators and engage senior leadership, and we heard one of the Innovation Hargraves Award winners just before afternoon tea. Her initiative was Innovation Conversations, which attracted over 300 staff to attend monthly get-togethers after hours and at their own cost. And that is how you change culture. It's not saying come to me during work, it's when you have to actually give up your own time and your own cost, okay? Sydney Trains recognised Jack's contribution, and now she has a bigger role at Transport for New South Wales, where she is leading the cultural change there. So would you like to say something, which is hard?
Yes, I'll say. I'm a passionate advocate of innovation, actually as a lever for organisational change. So I've really flipped innovation recently, and this is actually through the year that I was at Sydney Trains. Lots of things I started doing, I actually went back and changed. So I started, like many organisations start, where we say, embrace failure, fail big, fail fast, fail audaciously. And in Sydney Trains, which is fairly risk averse, and you go up to the CFO and ask for your $3 million, and they say, what are you going to do? We're going to fail. It's not that effective. And so I thought about it, and actually I thought about it through this is only going to be a couple of seconds, I thought about it through the context of where I was coaching netball, which I think I talked about last time I was here, but what I noticed, and at the time thought I invented, was a growth mindset. I didn't invent it, obviously. You probably all know that. But the idea of iterative learning. So I removed fail from all our collateral and started to focus on and get leaders to focus on just asking this question: what did you learn? What will you do differently? What did you learn? And it really shifted things. And innovation conversations was one component. We had a number of prongs to try and move a big ship. But it speaks to purpose and values. So people came, actually, it was after work, it was self-motivated, it was about being a part of co-creating a future. But if I was to put it really simply on a personal level, it's an insurance policy for your own career. So it was about what is the value you bring and how can you learn to bring it in a shifting landscape. And so that was a platform for us to do that. And anyway, I felt deeply sad leaving Sydney Trains because I loved it, but Transport, the role is that I'm in now, is about building a future fit workforce in leadership, culture and innovation across the cluster, which is a lot of people. And we're about to launch a new initiative, which is like, that was our stepping stone, you would say, and we're going to move into another space where we'll have a platform similar but different to really be able to help sow the seeds and build the community. But I'm going to say that Hargraves were legendary in that I was starting out, I was new, passionate, lots of ideas, lots of deep understanding of innovation, but without the guidance of Alan, and I'm going to say Tess, who managed all our awards and got that up, and that was a first for Australia, actually. Yep. It was a first for Australia. We wouldn't have got there because we were a very, very small team in a very big organisation with super solid governance. And that's another thing that's very hard in innovation. But Alan and Tess were really brave and bold and encouraged me to be brave and bold and find my ways around, as well as all the community, all the people that I met that were advocates and champions and catalysts who came on board and helped make that event happen, amongst other things, you know. So thank you. That's a great honour.
Our second Hargraves Award goes to special contribution to Health Share New South Wales. And this time I'd like to invite Sarah and Eloise up to accept the award. So if you guys jump up here for me, please. Thank you. We heard Mel and Garth talk, and they're just talkers, right? It's Eloise and Sarah that do all the work. It's Garth, Mel, Sarah and Eloise have committed a pilot innovation program, which you heard about, for over 500 staff in patient transport, collected over 30 ideas within days, of which the go-ahead and they've actually had the go-ahead for multiple projects now. This just says first. The award is for their initiative to include the other sectors of New South Wales Health in their training and in their program. And you saw the diagram they put up where they connected with all the other health things. They didn't need to do that. They did that to create a community within New South Wales Health to help innovation happen across the whole of New South Wales Health. And we're also proud to work with Mid-North Coast, also with HETI, and we also work with the New South Wales Ministry of Health. And people always say to me, working in health is like going up a down escalator. As soon as you stop to think, you go backwards. So it's the toughest role in the world is to innovate in health. So if you'd like to...
Thank you. Thanks, Alan. Garth and Mel had the tough job of actually explaining what we do, so I'm just going to have the easy job of saying thank you to Tess and Alan. I think just a big learning for us in the last couple of months that we've worked with you is how valuable different perspectives and different opinions are. And I think that's another thing about connecting with different people, and there's a lot of people in the room that we actually connected with in our early days. Just want to say thank you and keep sharing your different perspectives with people, and we look forward to doing that with you tonight and tomorrow.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you, Sarah. And lucky last, say the best till last. A significant contribution to Australia's future is Dean Gertzke from MLA. So MLA have been members for nearly 10 years. During this time, they've run a co-innovation program between MLA and the meat industry that's grown to over 20 people across many sites, states and operations. Dean has attended many of our conferences, events, proudly stealing, borrowing and sharing ideas. Now, Dean and his team at MLA are planning to give back by sharing their experiences on how to empower innovation across the industry. Stay tuned as more is to follow. The format used by MLA is the same as that used by Sydney Trains, which is true collaboration. And so thank you very much to Dean, if you want to say.
Thank you, Alan, and thank you, Tess. When I think about the journey that MLA has been on, this is very much about a team effort. We started our pilot in innovation about 9 years ago, about as long as we've been members of Hargraves. And they've really helped us roll through, and evolve within a horribly complex environment. So the meat industry, we've got 65,000 producer members, more than 150 processing operations, in some ways quite competitive operations. So we've got a whole bunch of complexities that Alan and Tess have helped us and Hargraves have helped us work through, particularly through the network. So very proud now at the nine-year mark. A lot of our companies, including Australian Country Choice, is with us today. They're one of the early pilots. We're still very much strategic partners with that. We probably have 60% of meat production in Australia going through some form of the innovation program. So we're very, very proud of where we are, and Tess and Alan are both helping us through an evaluation process now. We can actually determine the impact and the return on investment to our producers and to the government for all the investments that we made. So thank you. I'd rather provide an award to Tess Hargraves and to Alan. Thank you very much for your contribution to MLA.